Good morning, everyone. It's Natalie. Happy Sunday. Look, I wanted to hop on real quick and show you what's been going on in the Joy Garden. There are going to be lots of changes because the season has changed. So it is now summer. Louisiana summers are brutal. But hey, this season, spring was brutal. But our summers are oppressively hot. The humidity is insane.
Hello, everyone. It's Natalie. Welcome to my channel, Find Joy in the Journey. And I apologize, but I missed it. But June 20th was the first day of summer. Happy first day of summer, everyone. Lord have mercy. It's been so hot lately. It's been so hot in my area. Temperatures in the 90s, like 91, 92, and one day I think it got to like 95. It was really, really hot. In my area, it gets so hot, but the worst part is the humidity. That's what really drains you. That's what really gets you is the humidity. So, uh, I've been doing the best I can to maintain the garden, and sometimes I don't have time to grab the camera and set it up and record because I'm trying to keep cool, so I got the big floppy hat, I got the wet towel around my neck, I got the neck fan, and I just go for it, and I just don't have time to grab the camera. And honestly, I'm sweating so profusely, it wouldn't even be a good thing to record myself, to be totally honest. But I just wanted to share with you very quickly. I'm out here at a time of day where it's much cooler, but I don't have much daylight left, so I'm going to talk quickly. Um, so basically, as you saw in the opening of the video, the things that I was able to harvest. I harvested some more green beans today, more okra. I harvest okra almost every single day. Very prolific, okay? It produces a lot. So okra, more bell peppers, uh, carrots. So I harvested my carrots, and this is the first time I actually got a chance to harvest carrots. This is my second time growing carrots, and this time I actually got a pretty decent harvest. So I'm excited about that, and I'll show some pictures of that um, at the end of the video. And my onions, and I'll just show you, give you a closer look at everything that I harvested today. But one of the things I really wanted to share with you is about um, basically gardening in these extreme temperatures and how I am trying to beat the heat and still maintain my garden, trying to keep everything watered. I have a watering schedule, and sometimes if it's really hot and there's not any rain in sight, that means you have to water twice a day. You may have to water in the morning and then later on in the afternoon. If you water in the morning, that will help your plants get through the hot, you know, the heat of the day. Okay, so watering in the morning, uh, and then I water again later on in the afternoon. Uh, so there's one very important thing, and I actually have a demonstration. It's going to be part of the video. So I'm going to get to that because that is one of the main reasons why I hopped on, is to tell you about um, trying to protect your garden during these extreme temperatures. And one thing that you may not be, and maybe you are, but something that you may not be um, aware of is not just the what they call the ambient temperatures that we have to be careful of. It is actually your soil temperatures. Your soil temperatures. And it dawned on me when I was clearing out one of my raised beds. I did a video with me clearing out one of the raised beds over there, and I actually had to go in by hand and pull out these weeds, this grass that's been growing up out of my raised bed. It had completely taken over that kind of green oval shaped raised bed that I have over there where I was growing the red kidney beans. I'm done with the red kidney beans, you guys. And I had a great harvest. I really, really I'm very happy with my red bean harvest. But I'm done with those plants and I pulled them out of that raised bed. And I had to go and clear out the raised bed. And I was sticking my hand in the soil, pulling out these weeds. And when I would stick my hand down in there, the heat that came from that soil had me thinking, I'm like, all these planters and all these grow bags and planters and raised beds, the soil, the heat beating down on these containers all day long with temperatures in the 90s. This soil this is raising the temperature of this soil that's encased in these aluminum raised beds, that's encased in these cloth grow bags, or even the pots and planters that I'm using. That the temperature of that soil is much hotter than the ambient temperatures around it. And I have proof of that. And I will show you that video of the me actually taking a temperature of the soil. And one of the reasons why I did that is because I wanted to plant out some of the tomato plants that I have in my greenhouse that need to be planted out into the garden. Because right now I have cherry tomatoes, chocolate sprinkles, and large cherry tomatoes that are growing. And I have two other indeterminate tomato plants, the Cherokee Purple and Mortgage Lifter. Those are the other tomato varieties that I have in the garden. The chocolate sprinkles and the cherry tomatoes are doing fine without any shade cloth. They're over here. I'm harvesting almost every other day, getting my cherry tomatoes. So look like they're very heat tolerant. Now, the Cherokee Purple and the Mortgage Lifter is actually over there under shade cloth. Okay? And I remember when I installed the shade cloth, I told you that I would be monitoring the plants to see if the shade cloth is making a difference. And I found out today that yes, it is. Okay? But there's other things that you need to do too to beat the heat. Because like I said before, it's not just the ambient temperatures. And I keep doing this is because I'm talking about the heat in the atmosphere that's surrounding the plant, the ambient heat or temperatures. It's also the soil temperatures that you have to be careful of. So when I went to plant out more tomato plants, I tried to choose a variety that was heat tolerant. The 4th of July and the Heat Master. 4th of July was successfully planted out. I placed it under the shade cloth, okay? But the two Heat Master tomato plants, I didn't get the chance to move them under the shade cloth or protect them with some type of covering to lower the temperature. And they both died out. Both plants died out. And so I know for a fact if I want to maintain any tomato plants or whatever, or for anything that new that I plant out, there are things that I have to do to make sure that I lower the temperatures in this extreme heat that we're having right now. I have to do what I can to keep the temperatures low. And when I plant out, I have to make sure that soil is not too hot. And I'm going to show you this quick video to show you what I mean about the soil actually being hot. I'm going to show you that. Now, right here, this is where I had planted a Heat Master tomato plant. Okay? Something that was in the greenhouse. And I was like, okay, it's a nice size plant. It's time for me to go ahead and put it out. But what I didn't do is I did not place it under the shade cloth. Okay? I left it out here, exposed. Look, my lemon thyme still there, right? Because it's doing well. The plant itself is right here in the middle. Can you see that? I already ripped it out because it died almost immediately. And I'll tell you why. All right? I have this right here so I can show you. You see that? That's my little 4-way digital plant tester. It checks for if the soil is dry. It checks the temperature. It checks the pH balance. Okay. It also tells you if the light. It also detects how much light that the plant is getting. Okay. I want to show you. I'm going to place this in the soil.
I want you to look at that temperature. Can you see? Do you see how hot it is? That's the temperature of that soil right now. Okay? I wouldn't dare try to plant something in soil that high. Okay? Now, what I'll do, just to see if there's a difference, I'm going to go over and put the thermometer in one of the plants that's under the shade cloth and see if we can tell the difference, okay? Okay. Now, this is my tomato plant. This is the 4th of July. It's a heat-tolerant tomato plant, okay? But I also have it up under the shade cloth. I want you to look at the difference. Okay, I'm going to turn it back on. Sorry, guys. Look at the difference in the soil. 89 under here, where out there exposed, it was what, 90 something, 95, something like that? Okay? There's a difference. The shade cloth makes a difference. I wanted to share this with you guys. Shade cloth makes a difference. That's why this tomato plant, even though some of the leaves look a little worse for wear, this tomato plant is actually growing and it's going to survive because I have it under the shade cloth. Okay? As you can see, the soil is wet. Okay? It says high as far as the light, high, temperatures 89, and the soil is wet because I've been keeping the soil evenly moist. Okay? Right. I came out over here so you can see. This is a grow bag where I had placed a tomato plant that is not protected by shade cloth. Do you see that? Okay? I just really want to drive home this point. Shade cloth may be something that you need. If you're in a climate that is hot like where I am, I'm in southeast Louisiana, in the West Baton Rouge area, okay? And as you can see, shade cloth makes a difference. Shade cloth makes a difference. This is a grow bag that's exposed to the sun without any protection. All right? Okay, you guys, so for those reasons, when you saw how I was checking that soil to see the temperature of that soil was 96 degrees. And when I went and I did check the temperature up under the shade cloth, that was 89. It came down several degrees. So one thing, shade cloth, that will help you lower the temperatures of your soil. The other thing is making sure that your soil stays moist, stays watered, and mulch. It is very important to mulch. Some people go with 3 inches of mulch. I think I may be doing 2 inches, but it might be necessary to go back and mulch, add more mulch to the other plants that I have out there that's been sitting there for quite some time. Some of those, especially with my peppers and tomatoes that are over there under the shade cloth, that's the same original mulch that was on there since I first planted them. So it may be beneficial to, first of all, I'm going to top dress all of it. What I mean by top dressing is that I go in there and I remove that top layer of soil. Top layer of mulch. And then I add more organic material. It could be compost. Add more compost. And this season I'm using mushroom compost. And also with that compost, I add fertilizer, a slow release fertilizer. You add that. Also, there's another thing you can do. You can use make a little mixture of a slow release fertilizer like a plant tone or tomato tone or whatever you choose to use. Okay? Just make sure all the nutrients is represented. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Make sure all of that is represented. You can get a 555, a 44, whatever you choose to use. With plant tone, that's a 533, and tomato tone is a 344. Okay, but you can mix that. Get a cup of the slow release fertilizer, and you can add some
bone meal to it. And you can use that. And after you remove that mulch, you're going to sprinkle that around your plant about three inches away from the plant base. And then you're going to cover it with compost. And then you come back with more mulch and put a thick layer of mulch. So not only are you supercharging that plant, you're giving it a real boost by adding that organic material, adding those nutrients from the fertilizer, and then you're going to cover it with a layer of mulch that's going to help protect the plant by um, retaining moisture in the soil. That's going to help you beat the heat. So it's not only that. So it's time to recharge up. If you have some stuff that's been out there a while, uh, I suggest that you hit it. That's just me and from what I've experienced. The season has changed. You've been watering that plant and maintaining that plant with that same old soil that's been on there. Yes, you've been feeding it like with a, I don't know, water soluble fertilizer. That's what I've done. Water soluble fertilizer. Um, or I'll use the fish emulsion, the 511. I do that. I've been using the yeast fertilizer. It's like I alternate with regular feedings and the yeast fertilizer. But now the seasons have changed. There's going to be a lot more watering because of the heat. So it's time to freshen up that layer of mulch and also add some more organic material to that soil. So the things that are still growing, that are being carried over from the spring, okay, the stuff that I planted in the spring, the melons, the berries, the even my citrus trees, all of my tomato trees and sweet bell peppers that are still out there, all of that. It's time for me to go and add a fresh layer of organic material, which is like your compost and some fertilizer, a slow release fertilizer that can stay within the soil, the planter or grow raised bed or a grow bag, and just slowly release nutrients into the soil. It's time for me to do that. The thing is that I have to strategically do it. I got to plan out when it's nice and cool, like right now, and because this is later on in the afternoon or early in the morning. Get out there early in the morning and get it done then. And I'm going to have to do it a section at a time. But so from what I showed you with my little demonstration, when I took the temperature of the soil, do you see how well shade cloth really helps? So it's the shade cloth and a combination of making sure that you have enough mulch and that you're keeping your soil moist. And that will bring down the temperature of the soil significantly. Okay, so you guys, I just wanted to share that with you. And I will put the little reminders up on the screen of what we need to do to protect our plants, right? To protect our plants during these excessively hot days. Woo-wee. Okay, you guys. So look, and I've been listening to some people saying that they're in the hundreds where they are. What you say? Ooh, I wouldn't even be able to survive that. I wouldn't leave my house. I wouldn't leave my house. I'd have to send somebody to go down to get the meal. I wouldn't leave my house in the hundreds. I would want to stay perfectly still, like this, so I won't explode. 100 degrees? Gosh, I'm barely making it in 92, 93, 100. With the humidity that we have here, are you serious? Oh my God. I don't know. So, good luck to you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope I was able to share something that was worthwhile and that was helpful. Okay? So happy gardening, everyone. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Okay? Bye now.